The president's chief spokesman reiterated today Syria will not devolve into a superpower showdown with Russia. But correspondent Kevin Corke tells us tonight from the White House, circumstances point to a different conclusion.
I think the president was fairly definitive in the news conference that he did 10 or 12 days ago, in which he made clear that the conflict in Syria would not turn into a proxy war between the United States and Russia.
No proxy war. That's still the word from White House officials, despite increasing evidence to suggest that one may already be underway in Syria. For the second time in as many weeks, U.S. and Russian jets were in close proximity in the skies over Syria, this time within visual identification range. And while neither group engaged the other, the White House said the incident underscored the need for increased air safety protocols. But while those talks continue, U.S. support for Syrian rebels has escalated, with 50 tons of small arms and grenades airdropped by the U.S. to opposition forces over the weekend. Additionally, BGM-71 TOW anti-tank missiles have been shipped to Syria to help American-backed fighters battle against Russian-backed government forces.
It just made me think of, one of those science experiments where you do in grade school where you keep adding combustible elements into a test tube until eventually there's a big explosion.
An explosion of competing interests, say experts, with no set rules of engagement. As for the Russians,
they are not, despite what they're saying publicly, trying to destroy ISIS. They're trying to prop up the Assad regime.
Analysts also believe that Russia's widening sphere of military activity threatens the safety and security of those not even involved in the fighting. Dutch investigators today released with their final report this animation of what they conclude happened to Malaysian flight MH17, shot down over Ukraine in July 2014, killing all 298 people on board. The report found that the plane was hit by a Russian-made Buk missile. Meanwhile, back in Washington, critics call President Obama's Syria strategy late and severely lacking.
By the time he came around to doing anything about Syria, there was not that many people left to work with on the ground, and even the effort to arm and equip them has been slow, unsteady, unreliable.
And Shannon, we have received word late tonight, this from a report from Reuters, that thousands of Iranian troops are preparing to join the Syrian army and its allies for a major ground offensive in Aleppo province. That's an area that's not only controlled in part by ISIS, but also the opposition to the Syrian government. And all this is happening, Shannon, as the Pentagon prepares for a third secure video conference with the Russians on air safety protocol, otherwise known around here as deconstriction. Deconfliction, that is. Back to you.
All right, we're going to talk about it with the panel. Thanks for laying it out for us, Kevin.
You bet.